put artists in charge of the world, we would be in a much better place today in terms of creative problem solving and figuring out ways to appreciate each other's differences. These two organizations really demonstrate that great minds can come together, work together, and with terrific results. Over the years, I had the privilege of getting to know Indira and her giant visions, and being on the advisory board, and it was really a treat because it grew over the many years that the organization evolved, and tackling peace, you know, not a small goal. And I don't know how many of you have seen some of the other side of Indira, which is a very accomplished artist and has very beautiful artwork that has evolved over the years. But those of you who have been in Evanston, there's a particular piece that was installed about 2 years ago now. It's a circle of bronze chairs, each one more gorgeous than the next, all of which has Indira's special artistic qualities. And just as she did with Shanti, she collected the words of Evanstonians all throughout the community, different voices, and what does Evanston mean to you? And they are woven through the chairs, and they're in a circle, the concept being a conversation place. It's right on Chicago Avenue, across from Nichols Concert Hall. Well worth a visit, or go and sit and contemplate. And it exemplifies her creative approach to getting people's input. And so anyway, that was one thing that I really thought, well, this kind of demonstrates the quality and the creativity of Indira. And so over the years, they had the challenges of a small organization led by a very dynamic artistic leader who would prefer doing things other than managing a nonprofit organization, and realizing that perhaps they were at a point where it would be better served if they could join forces with another organization. And over the 20 years that I worked at the Arts and Business Council, I had the privilege of meeting literally hundreds and hundreds of wonderful nonprofit organizations in Metro Chicago. And when I thought a little bit about it, I realized there is another organization out there whose mission also is not at all identical, but is certainly complementary. And they had the good fortune of being run by a fabulous business guy. Now, I don't know that Mark would see himself that way, but the reality was, as a young organization, and Kay probably saw this in him, he really was doing everything right. We do, when I say the Arts and Business Council, we have only been retired for 3 years, so it's a little hard to drop out the we. But we offer a variety of what we call capacity building programs to help smaller organizations and mid-sized organizations run their operations, their boards, their staff growth, and to help them along the way. And very often it's through our Business Volunteers for the Arts program. In fact, your vice president now is an active BVA for Changing Worlds. Is serving on multiple, that you know, is Joanne here? I don't know if she's here or not. But she's currently working on like 4 BVA projects and doing great work throughout the community. But anyway, getting back to the idea of how do we, in fact, bring together the resources and the talent of Shanti and perhaps find a home with Changing World. And Mark jumped on it, and his board, and it was the opposite of your typical corporate merger. You know, this was a team working together. You know, how do we move forward in a way that will both enhance our missions and our work? And I think we see the results of this. So it was very exciting for me to hear that it was moving forward and with the full support of both boards. And this kind of a friendly merger could be a big lesson to Washington. And I wish them all good fortune, and I suspect great things will happen. I know in the next year or so they're going to be launching one of other Indira's giant-sized concepts about the 10,000 ripples and the Buddha project, which you'll be hearing more about in 2012. But it's very exciting and brings the attention of all communities around Chicago to think about peaceful things, and I think it will be very exciting. So I wish you all the best, and I'm delighted to be here tonight.
As a token of our appreciation, if you can come on up. Because it seems like women have such great ideas. So we have a shirt from Shanti Foundation for Peace and a piece of artwork from Changing Worlds with the student story on the back. As a thank you, a token of our appreciation. So I'm delighted to be joined by the many supporters and friends of Changing Worlds and the Shanti Foundation for Peace for this exciting evening as we celebrate the coming together of our two organizations. Just over 10 months ago, a process of exploration and discovery was started that has led us to today. During that process, we learned that we had similar missions, focus, and program areas. We learned that both efforts were started by dynamic visionaries who dreamt of a better world. Let's give Indira and Kay another round of applause. They dreamt of a world where the exchange of personal stories coupled with art and a commitment to learning about one another would lead to a peaceful and culturally competent and accepting world. Just like the buzz in the room tonight, the synergies between both organizations was electrifying. As a result of the merger, we would expand our reach, enhance our programs, and leverage our resources. From reaching several hundred youth individually to collectively reaching over 2,000 youth. From serving a few communities to creating a patchwork of programs and services that cover the greater Chicago metropolitan area, going as far north as Evanston Highland Park on the North Shore and as far south as South Chicago. Together, we are stronger. Through the coming together of both organizations, we decreased our overhead costs by over $60,000, enabling us to allocate more funds to our programs and direct services. That's a feat in itself. What's even more exciting is the possibilities of our future. Just last week in the halls of Lake Central High School in Indiana, after constant bullying by peers, a 17-year-old student from Jordan descent was beaten and suffered traumatic brain injury because of his ethnic background. One key outcome of this merger will be to take the anti-bullying curriculum and non-violence curriculum developed by Shanti and the cultural awareness programming and self-esteem building approaches developed by Changing Worlds to create a comprehensive anti-bullying and cultural awareness program to prevent incidents like this from ever happening again. It's not right. Today, we stand on the shoulders of our founders, Indira Johnson and Kay Bergson. As we embark on this new journey together, we invite each of you in the audience to join us in our efforts to create a change. So in your packets, you'll see, if you open up the first one, there's a nice fancy envelope. There, I would be remiss and I would not be doing my job as a director if I didn't mention this. So there's an envelope. You can join our efforts and support our work in building this new effort and this new program to address the bullying that's happening not only in Illinois and Indiana, but all over the country. So you can pull it out and feel free to make a donation, or as well as in your packet, there should be a green insert. Let me see that, guys. Just like this. There's other ways to be involved. We need your support. We need everyone's involvement, engagement, your ideas, your energy, your goodwill, your human resource support, and your human capacity. There's ways to join a committee. There's ways to be involved to support events. I'm sure many of the boards members that are in the room that are leading committees would love some additional members. So there's that as well. If you'd like to make a donation or complete that green form, any of the staff, anybody that has a blue lanyard, please stand. Kay, Karen in our back over there, Gabriel here, and Deborah Minor Harvey. All these people have lanyards. Please feel free to leave your donations with them or your green interest forms. So we want to thank a lot of people that helped to make this possible. Mission Plus Strategy Consulting, that's Cinda Ryerson and Gene Butson. Winston and Strong, who supported and provided pro bono legal assistance for Changing Worlds. DLO Piper, that provided the pro bono legal assistance for Shanti. Shepherd Swartz and Harris for conducting the financial reviews and the due diligence and the background review of all of the financials. The Law Project, led by Jody Adler, the Civic Committee for, it's such a long name, is Jody in the room? She must have just laughed, but it's the Law Project. Joan Gunsberg for such a great idea. Amy Sue Martins, who's facilitated and supported our communications efforts. She's probably communicating online through social media now. She's down in the room. Joe Kocher, and then a thanks to everybody who worked on the Merger, Integrations, and Exploration Committee. Vicki Samuels, Kay Bergson, Jody Adler, Indira Johnson, Lolita Cereales, Lucy Ascoli, Christopher Madagawa, George Sullivan, Ken Rowling, Pushpika Freitas, for all of us together exploring the possibilities of this and really looking at it with open eyes and with an open heart. Together we explored this new journey in a way that was not about taking over or making changes. It was about how we were going to come together to better enhance the communities that we serve. So let's give them a round of applause. And last but not least, the Artworks Fund for Organizational Development that really supported and provided the financial resources and support to make this happen, to bring these people together. So thank you all for coming. Before you leave, please feel free to stop by over here at the piano, and if you're social media inclined and have a Facebook or Twitter account, please sign up, follow us, like us, all that good stuff. And please just spend some time getting to know one another. We believe that it's the power of each of our stories that connects us, that binds us, and that will move us forward. Thank you all so much and have a wonderful evening.